I did my internship at the Park Road Elementary School in Pittsburgh. And it was through BOCES in Monroe County. My mentor is Crystal Davin, who is employed at the Monroe BOCES. She's an interpreter for a first grade student, Chloe, who has a year in. So how I found my mentor. I had to go through a lot of people to find the right one and the area that I wanted to do it in. First, I tried contacting BOCES and asking them if they could just place me with someone, and that was an epic fail. They told me that I needed to go out on my own and connect with other people, and that's what I did. This part led me to talking with my softball coach. One of her cousins is a staff there at Wayland Elementary School, and they said that there was a deaf student there, and education is where I wanted to be in, so I figured that would be a great start. I called Wayland, and they told me that the deaf student was no longer there. And obviously the interpreter wasn't there either. They told me that she had moved to Geneseo. So I called Geneseo, and I asked them if there was an interpreter there, and they said, actually, she's no longer here. So I was like, okay, so is there any way that you can give me the contact with that interpreter? And they did, and I contacted, and that's where I met Crystal. So I talked to Crystal, and I asked her if it would be okay if she could be my mentor. She said that she didn't know what she would be doing, so she wasn't sure, so she said no at first, and to contact her when it got closer to school. And when it got closer, I emailed Crystal and I asked her if it was okay. Obviously during that time, we would be talking, and she said yes. So when I got her approval, I had to contact BOCES, get her approval, and I finally finalized that, and that's when I wound up at Park Road Elementary School. I completed 171 hours of paid time. Obviously during school there are set times where you can interpret, so all of my hours were very quick. I first started interpreting after 2 weeks of just strictly observing, and I did that just to get a feel of what the classroom is going to be like and how they do things in that school. For B hours, I had 180. This was during our lunch break. We had an hour lunch break, and I would discuss the things that went on with my mentor, and then that's where 3 other interpreters were also there, so I got to interact with them and talk with them about everything that's going on during the day. And when Chloe wasn't in school, we would go to BOCES and we would just discuss different things and watch videos, stuff like that. For C hours, I only had 2. And that was when the boss, Sherry, came to the school to observe my mentor, and I couldn't do anything but just strictly watch her. Lessons I've learned. The low points and the tough weeks. When I first got up to interpret, Chloe just turned her back on me completely. She didn't want anything to do with me. She just said, I don't want you to interpret for me, I want Miss Davin to interpret for me. So my confidence just went down. From there, I was upset. I wanted to turn away and cry. So after that, I talked with my mentor, and I asked her, what did I do wrong? And she told me, you didn't do anything wrong. She just doesn't like change. So that was really hard for me. Secondly, was story time. I have a hard time with expressing myself and becoming a character. And with a first grade class, you have to engage with your consumer. And that was something that I had trouble with. So there were times where I would refuse to interpret a book. And I would be like, Crystal, you can go up there. Like, I'm afraid to do it. Like, I'm bad with classifiers and whatnot. She's like, the only way you can get better at this is basically practice. So I ended up doing it, and as time went on, I did get better. Another hard point was role shifting. At the beginning of the book, two characters, I have them set up. Throughout the story, I'll get them confused and I don't know where I place them. And then when more characters come in, it's hard to show who is who in the story. Next were English lessons. There was one time I was watching my mentor interpret a spelling test to Chloe. And there was a certain word that didn't have a sign. So she finger spelled the word. And I looked at her and I'm like, you just gave her the answer. So after that, I talked to her about that. And she said that for a deaf person, it doesn't seem that way. Like, it's normal. You can do that. So that was one of the hardest things for me. And then next was using ASL in English. During school, you would use ASL, but then when it came to English, you had to use English, and that was my problem with transitioning from ASL to English and English to ASL. The last thing was interpreting songs. When they had a brain break, which was something random during the day, I didn't have the opportunity to look at it or hear it beforehand, so I just had to go along with it. And I found it that it was better to go into interpreting not listening to a song than listening to it beforehand, because when you listen to it beforehand, you have everything that you wanted, but then whereas you don't know the song, then you're just flowing with it and you don't have anything to think about, like any of the words that you wanted to say but you couldn't interpret that. So those were the low points and challenges. My best memories and experiences. First was a chorus concert. It was an in-school concert, and my mentor was like, "Oh, you have a song." And I was like, "I do?" She's like, "Yeah, you can interpret the song, Don't Worry, Be Happy." Luckily, I knew the words to the song, but then again, when I express myself, I can't really express myself. It's hard for me. But I thought I did a good job. My mentor thought I did a good job. She recorded me interpreting it, and we both went over it, and she said I did good. Just need to express myself a little bit more. And then during that concert, Chloe never signs. She refuses to sign. Her brother's the same way, and her brother's deaf, and he's in 5th grade. And her brother had to sign a song. And I looked behind me, and I saw Chloe signing along with her brother. And I thought that was the cutest thing. It just literally, I almost started crying. I looked at my mentor, and I was like, I can't believe this. Like, Chloe is signing with her brother. Just the 1st grade class in Gentle. When I didn't have to interpret for Chloe and she was doing her work, I would be an assistant teacher. I would walk around and help other students in the class, just to get a connection with the students, not only Chloe, but the students also. And the teachers were phenomenal. I actually became really close with one of the assistant teachers. So it was a really good experience. These are just pictures. The first one, Flat Stanley, that was the hardest book that I did. With classifiers, I couldn't figure out how to do it, and there were so many characters coming in and out of the story. The next one, just a picture of the classroom that I was in. And then followed by that, just books that are in the classroom. And Tiki Tempo. Yes. That book, I thought I was going to have a really hard time with it because of the rant and the song that goes along with it. But I actually did very well in setting up my characters and setting up the different places in the story. My mentor thought that also, so I was very excited about that. The other picture, apparently that's me. what I look like. Chloe drew that for me. And then the next picture is just where Chloe sat. These pictures are just notes that my mentor wrote down. They were either positive or negative. She added both. The poem, this was a good poem. It was during Dr. Seuss week, so the teacher just picked any poem. It wasn't for the kids to learn what it meant or anything like that. So in the beginning, I was doing well. And towards the end, I just stopped and I looked at my mentor and I said, I don't know. Like it was hard for me to even interpret that. And my mentor knew that. She's had the same problem and she was going along with it. But at the end of class, we discussed it and we tried to figure out different ways how to put it and how to interpret that. And this was the end of my internship. This was the last day. She gave me a congratulations card. Chloe's TOP signed it. The teacher signed it. And of course my mentor signed it. That's to the left is my mentor, Crystal. And Chloe's in the middle, and that's me. Advice for you seniors next year. Start now. It's not easy to find a placement unless you have connections. Be certain that the place you are at is where you want to be. And when you find someone, observe where that placement is in advance so you know what it's going to be like and if that's what you want to do. Good luck. Thank you.